All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me. So today we are going to continue our discussion in Chapter 2, Section 3. The last video I showed you, or actually the last two videos, I showed you a couple of examples in each video on how to solve and check two-step equations. So today we're going to talk a little bit about consecutive integer problems. And what a consecutive integer problem is they will ask you to find possibly two or three or four numbers that are right in a row that equal a certain amount. And so first we need to establish what a consecutive integer is and how, if we don't know what those integers are, how do we represent them with variables? So first, a consecutive integer, an example of that would be like 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so each of those numbers is an integer. And they're consecutive because they're right in a row. 3, and then after 3 comes 4, and after 4 comes 5. Now, the variable representation of that is if we don't know what the first number is, we're going to call that x. The next number after that is going to be x plus 1 because the next one is 1 higher. And then the next one after that is going to be x plus 2. And what you can see is a pattern developing in that if you don't know consecutive integers, we always are going to call the first one the variable, and the ones after that are the same variable plus however many spaces they are above the first one that we started with. Now, there are other types of problems where they'll ask for consecutive even integers or consecutive odd integers. And so obviously even numbers, so an example of that would be consecutive even numbers would be 2, 4, 6. So those three numbers are consecutive even numbers. Consecutive odd numbers would be something like 3 and 5 and 7. Now, we do have a couple different ways to represent those, and it's a little bit different than what you saw right here with the consecutive integers because the numbers themselves are changing by a little bit different amounts. So if you first look at the even numbers, we need a way to represent an even number. And the way that we do that is with 2x. And the reason why there's a 2 there is now no matter what number we put in for x, the number that we get is going to be even. So as an example, if I put a 3 in for x, 2 times 3 is 6, and the number we get is even. If I put a 4 in there, 2 times 4 is 8. So again, that number is even. If I put a 5 in there, 2 times 5 is 10. So there is another even number. So the 2x represents an even number. Then you have to remember what the next one is. So here, after 2 comes 4. So it's not one more like it was in the first variable representation. It's actually 2 more this time. And so we're going to have it 2x plus 2, and then 2x plus 4. And that right there will give us consecutive even numbers. Now, the last one is going to be consecutive odd numbers. So to create an odd number, if you didn't realize it, after every even number in the numbers of integers comes an odd number. So we have 2, which is even, 3, which is odd, 4, which is even, 5, which is odd. So every other one is even, odd, even, odd. So the way we represent an odd number is if we know 2x is going to be even, then 2x plus 1, which is one more than that, is going to be odd. And so as an example, if I put the number 3 in right here, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. So this whole expression gave us an odd number. Now, after that first odd number, the next one appears 2 more spaces past it. So then the next expression is 2x plus 3, and then 2x plus 5. Okay, so here are 3 different ways to represent consecutive numbers. So if it's just consecutive integers, you can do x, x plus 1, x plus 2. Consecutive even integers need to be 2x, 2x plus 2, 2x plus 4. Consecutive odd integers need to be 2x plus 1, 2x plus 3, 2x plus 5. So this part right here is very important for the next couple problems, or actually the rest of the problems in this video are what we're going to do. So right here it says find 3 consecutive integers with a sum of 48. So there's a couple things happening. First of all, we need consecutive integers, and it needs to be a sum of 48. So we got to remember what the word sum means. So the word sum means addition, and it needs to total 48. So what we need to do now is to write an algebraic expression, or actually an equation, to represent this. So it says we have 3 numbers, and they need to be consecutive integers. So I'm going to go back up here, and since it needs to be consecutive integers, I'm going to use this expression right here, x, x plus 1, and then x plus 2. And so when I write this out, the consecutive integers is going to be x plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2. So there's the 3 numbers that we're trying to figure out. And it says the sum of those numbers, which is why it's addition here and here, says the sum of those 2 numbers, or those 3 numbers, excuse me, needs to be 48. So there's our 3 numbers. We don't know what they are yet, but we do know that when we add all those 3 numbers up, it should equal 48. And so now this becomes an exercise in solving this equation, and this is a multi-step equation. So what you see right here is we have an x, we have an x, we have an x. So we need to add all those x's together. So if I have 3 x's, I'm going to literally write 3x. Those 3 were like terms. The x, the x, the x. Now, the other like terms that we have are 1 and 2. So when we add those 2 together, we get 3. And the total is 48. So what you can see is I added the like terms together to condense our equation, so now we can begin to solve it. Now from there, it's pretty easy to solve. It's a 2-step equation. We're going to subtract 3 first. We're going to get 3x equals 45. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we're going to get x equals 15. So there is one of the solutions, but it's not all of the solutions. So now we need to go back at the original problem and make sure we're doing what they asked, which is find 3 consecutive integers. So we found the first one. We found this x, right? This is x right here. We're going to put a line to connect them. X is 15. So we need to find the next 2 numbers after that, and that's easy because right here it says the next number is 1 more than that, which means the next number is 16. And then this part says the next number after that is 2 more than the original number. So 15 plus 2 is 17. So our final answer for the whole problem would be 15, 16, and 17. And if you were to add those 3 numbers up, 15 plus 16 plus 17, you will get 48. And I'll even show you right here, 15, 16, and 17. When I add those up, 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. We're going to carry the 1. And there's 4 ones right there, 48. So when we add those 3 numbers together, we get 48, which is what our equation said it needed to be. So we're going to try another one. So this one says the ages of 3 sisters are consecutive integers with a sum of 75. How old is the middle sister? So this one's a little different, right? So this one's only asking us what is the middle number of the 3 numbers that we have. Over here, it asked us for all 3 numbers. Here, they're just asking us for the middle sister's age. So once again, this is a consecutive integer. So going back to this page that I referred to before and looking in the highlighted area, the consecutive integer expression that we're going to use is that one right there. So we'll write our expression. We do need 3, so it's going to be x plus 1 plus x plus 2, and the sum needs to be, as it says right here, 75. And so when I add those together, we're going to look at our like terms. I'm going to highlight, there's an x, there's an x, there's an x. Here's a 1, here's a 2. So those like terms need to be put together. So there are 3 x's, and then 1 plus 2 is 3, and that's going to equal 75. Now, didn't want to do that. Now we are going to solve this by subtracting 3 from both sides, and we get 3x equals 72. And when I divide both sides by 3, I get x equals 24. Now, we got to be careful here. So x, this says x right here. This says x is 24. Remember what x is, though. X would be the age of the first sister, because there's 3. This is the first sister. This is the second sister. This is the third sister. And their total ages would be 24. They want to know how old the middle sister is. So that is number 2. That's number 2. And so if you notice right here, we have to take that X age and add one more number to it. So the youngest sister would be 24. The next oldest sister would actually be 25. The oldest would be 26. They want to know what the middle sister's age is. So the final answer to this problem would be 25 years old. Now this one's a little different than the last two, and it has to do with what it says in the variables. It says solve consecutive integer problems. It says find 3 consecutive, and then this word right here, even. That's the most important one right there. They want you to find 3 consecutive even integers with a sum of 150. So since we've got this word even, we need to scroll back up and we need to look at our expression for even integers. This is the expression that we need to use for even integers. Again, this one's for 3. There's 1, 2, 3. But we need to use the even integer expression. So that one, we scroll back down, is going to be 2x plus 2x plus 2 plus 2x plus 4. And it says it's a sum, which is why we put plus right there and there, right? And it also said that the total should be 150. And so now we need to go in and add up our like terms. Here's a 2x, here's a 2x, here's a 2x, and there's a 2, and there's a 4. So 2x plus 2x plus 2x is 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So that's 6x. And then we have 2 and 4, which ends up being 6. And that equals 150. So 2x plus 2x plus 2x is 6x. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. And that equals 150. And now we're going to proceed to solve this. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. We get 6x equals 144. And then I divide both sides by 6. And x equals 24. So there is one of the solutions. Now keep in mind, they want you to find 3 consecutive even integers. All right? Now, this is the key part. The 3 integers that we want are 2x, 2x plus 2, and 2x plus 4. So this right here is x. We have to put this 24 in for each of these x's to actually come up with what the three numbers are. Okay, so the first one for 2x, 2 times 24, is 48. So there's our first one. And then we need even numbers after that. So if I put this into the 2x plus 2, that gives me 50. And then the 2x plus 4 gives me 52. And so the three consecutive integers that we want, the three consecutive even integers I meant to say, are 48, 50, and 52. Okay, so the last one we're going to do is to find three consecutive odd integers. So this is the same idea, but we want consecutive odd integers. So we need to scroll up and look at which of the three formulas I should be using. So right here it says consecutive odd integers. So that being said, we need to now use this one right here, the 2x plus 1, 2x plus 3, and 2x plus 5. So the expression is 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 3 plus 2x plus 5, and that equals 39. So once again, we're going to get our like terms. There's a 2x, a 2x, and a 2x. So that becomes 6x. Then our other like terms are 1, 3, and 5. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. And that equals 39 like that. So we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. 6x equals 30. We're going to divide by 6. X is 5. So that tells us what x is, but remember, with these even and odd ones, we can't just solve for x. This right here is the first number. This is the first number. This is the second number. This is the third number. So I have to take my x value and plug it into the x's that you see in each of these expressions to actually get the three numbers that we're looking for. So when I do that and I plug in x equals 5 in the first expression, I get 2 times 5 plus 1. That equals 11. Okay. The second one, 2 times 5 plus 3 is 13. And then this last expression, expression 3, is 2 times 5 plus 5, and that's 15. This is the answer we're looking for. Three consecutive odd integers with a sum of 39, which I'll show you. If I add these three together, 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 9, and then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So you can see they added up to be 39. So the answer to this question is 11, 13, and 15. So, all right, guys, there you go. Hopefully that made sense. Remember, if you have questions, please email me or you can ask during our live Google Meet. Have a great day.